up, man? First episode. This is a real first episode of UnsCrypted.
This is the real episode of UnsCrypted.
Let's go.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, man. We're here in the office.
We're at
West
the
Hollywood.
Corium business headquarters, right?
Corium business headquarters.
This is where we conduct most of the business, meet a lot of people during our office hours, and typically just shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I'm with James here.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't want to do a podcast with anyone else on the team, to be honest.
Brad, actually, we're going topicless for this first episode. So, Doug, I really wanted to talk about, I was taking a piss and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, meme coins are kind of crazy. And I know it's like kind of weird to be like, oh, we're going to talk about this topic. We were kind of talking about being topicless, but when I do, Zach was talking about cats with pants, and I know there's dogs with hats. I'm sure that there's like frogs with hands. There's all kinds of things, right?
Joe Biden,
but
Donald Trump, Doland Trump.
Oh, really?
They just play around with the names of it.
How hard is it to like do this meme coin thing? Like, it's not really that difficult, right?
I think it's honestly, at this point, it's really just disingenuine. I think before, a couple of years ago, like it was less saturated, right? I think there's like 3,000 meme coins getting issued every single day. Jeez. at the low end, I think. So, most people in crypto, they just want to make a meme coin, get marketing together, and really there's no real business model, which is great. I mean, if people can make money in it and it's legal, that's great. But I think it's a really, for the people who aren't the ones issuing the meme coins, who aren't the ones rug pulling their communities,
right? For
the most part, I think it's like a real distraction, from not just investments, but I think even the macroeconomics. You're looking at BRICS, the BRICS group that just announced that there's
in the final away from the dollar, right?
Yeah, they're in the final stages of the de-dollarization.
Three times. De-dollarization.
De-dollarization program. So BRICS is essentially a group of countries, different world powers, such as Brazil, China, Russia, India, a couple new members like the UAE. A lot of these world members or world powers within within the world, they're all getting together and they're trying to move away from the US dollar. And they're starting out with trade. They're starting out with taking the US dollar out of their stock markets and things like that. So it's scary. I think, there's a lot of distractions even outside of the industry, James. Like, even if you can look at it like, sports, there's tons. If you look at the Roman Empire, they have the Colosseum. This is all the same stuff in modern times. You have, the World Championships basketball game happening right as they announce, they're in the final stages of this program. So I think there's a lot of distractions happening in the world. And I think if you're working and building within this industry, your eyes are open and, you're trying to navigate how you're going to get included within this new infrastructure, this new landscape that we're moving into. And, as builders in the industry, you and I know, like, it's not always set in stone. You have to get a large amount of stakeholders together to go to market with something in the real world. Yeah,
there's a lot of, I noticed, we were at Consensus in Austin, right? And I noticed that there's a lot of, it's not insider trading, right? There's a lot of community, right? That's being built business to business. And it's kind of like, it seemed to me, being an outsider, first time in a big conference like that, it seemed like there was a lot of, everybody knew what was going on. And when you walked out, it's like, you guys don't even get it. You don't even know what's going on in there. There's AI and there's exchanges, huge amounts of exchanges of wealth happening, just in the streets of, in the convention center in Austin,
Yeah.
And these big multi-billion dollar companies just, kicking it and having fun and throwing side events and partying. But at the same time, that's kind of, I think like the theme of crypto, and is that they're pioneers at the front end of this revolution or this thing that's happening, the future. And it's very interesting I think it's very interesting to me, like, again, coming from the outside, my first 90 days in, I'm like, oh, and I learned the term normies. Like, what the, I was like, oh, I've been a normie my whole life. What?
That's funny. Yeah, and to your point too, like outsider's perspective, even looking at consensus, right? If you don't have a ticket, what do you see? And you and I know, like, all you're seeing is memes, right? You're seeing the
Right.
Dogecoin car, like the McLaren that has Dogecoin wrapped all around it. You have just a bunch of garbage, right? It's just a bunch of like top of the funnel marketing for
Yes.
mostly meme projects, So when you actually get into the conference, you're going to have a real understanding of, crypto is not just a joke. This is new infrastructure that's getting put in place in many different sectors of the world. So yeah, it's really exciting to be, sharing this journey with you, James, like this.
Man. Yeah, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's funny because, like, if I flash back to my first week, honestly, my first month, but my first week especially, I remember just like, I'm reading all the documents that Fabio had shared with me, and Michelle was like, here's the company. And I'm like, I have no clue what this is about. And I like to think of myself as like an intelligent person. I can read things and I have a good reading comprehension, but it was very over my head. And thanks to you, you were able to like kind of dumb it down and get me to my entry level understanding to really pick up fast. But there's a lot of stuff now that I'm on the other side of that, there's a lot of stuff that is just like your standard financial tools, your standard coding requirements and languages that are just being applied all at once to this new currency or whatever. And so that's where I think, I'm thinking about, because we're just freestyling, like, the future for Corium, in my mind, it's like being able to talk to the normies and being able to get this mass adoption for the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And get everyone to wake up realize that this is the future. It's going this way, whether you want to or not, whether you like it or not, like, it's going this way. So finding better ways to explain that to people.
Yeah. I think we explain it better to institutions rather than your average degen. And I think that's to our detriment sometimes. I think, I really think that our team in general, when we do have meetings, I think it's, we have different sets of minds within our team where we can set them up with the right people. So we have, some of our team members, they really do speak the language of traditional finance. Then you have some people on the team like myself, speaks a lot of like the Web3 language. If you pair us together, it's like two peas in a pod in a way. So it's good to have that diversity in the team, and having different perspectives, even from yourself, James, like, it's really given me a whole new way of thinking when it comes to even go to market strategies and how the average user would respond, or how would you say, like, just basically respond to different strategies of onboarding, because I think that's the hardest thing in Web3 is truly onboarding new users that are in Web3. You just have to put a real life use case, real life application where it truly incentivizes them to get onboarded. And what I mean by onboarding really is just creating a wallet. So, I think Coinbase just announced that they're releasing this smart wallet where you don't need to have,
the keys. And
you don't need to do the keys and all that. So it's
like, and also I think the thing that fucks me up about that is I'm like, all right, keys, passphrases, it's not that difficult. It's like 12 words, and then it'll ask you like, what's word 3 and what's word 7?
Yeah.
Like, that's easy. But it's the idea that if I forget or lose these 12 words, all my money is gone. That's the part that's got me like, what do I do with this shit?
Especially when you're years into your investing,
God,
like, when you have a couple hundred, couple thousand, like, for some people it's okay, but you know, there's stories like the pizza guy, right? Like he's
Yeah.
lost millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in retrospect. But